As a new person coming in about 5 months ago, one of the things I wanted to look at in the first month was, where are we as a technology and how did we get here? What were the keys to that success? I think the technology was the right technology at the right time. There's tremendous work that was done by a lot of people to get us here. So the commercial alignment between, I think, the technology itself and industry heavyweights, and in this case, just our board composition, was very strong. And then it was, where are we going with the technology? It's this little blue web, if you will, that connects these devices. That's Bluetooth. This network effect and what the brand stands for. The fact that this person's treadmill can now be connected to a Polar watch, can now be connected to a TV if my treadmill is in the living room, to any other devices. And when we talk about, when the bet chairs come up and talk about their individual bets, I think you'll probably see this tie that binds, or the red thread between all these presentations. We're in 100% of the mobile phones, we're in most of the feature phones, so very entrenched in that space. The automobile, as Birch will talk about in his presentation, we have a strong foothold there that's only growing. And on the PC side, we have a nice presence there as well. Then the next segment, which is this emerging market segment. And these are areas that we actually do have product in today. And then there's these embryonic segments. And the one that we've put here that we're initially looking at is this smart energy or smart home area that Robin's going to be talking about. But the specific tactics we use in these verticals are quite unique to that area because they're different industry players. We have a different starting point from where we are, from industry to industry. And that's really what the bets are all about. The bets are about how do we proliferate Bluetooth technology in these specific verticals? How do we win? How do we create more beachheads? How do we evolve in the beachheads that we're in? And how do we break through in these new verticals that are so promising and bring this disruptive nature of our technology and transform these industries and the ecosystems as a result?
Many of you may know me already, but what you probably don't know is the composition of the MP bet. So far, we have 17 associate and promoter companies and 2 adopter companies that are in a subgroup. All of the companies are listed here. So right now, we have a really good cross-section of the industry. We have operator, we have mobile phone OEMs, we have OS developers. What's important about this is not just that it's a growing market, but how it's growing. The smartphone market is really exploding. The big changes here are OS updates. I mean, when you bought a phone 4 years ago, you probably never changed the operating system. Today, you might be changing it every couple months or something if bugs come out or new features come out or new versions come out. And also the app stores. The consumers have now gotten used to being able to download apps onto their phone whenever they want. So the mobile phone bet itself is trying to look at where to go in the market in really 3 different ways. One we're calling transform, the second is what we're calling enrich, and the third is innovate. And if we do take advantage of it, we have the opportunity to be able to create new business cases, new ways to monetize Bluetooth, and also create new interesting things for the consumer.
Well, let's think about a high-performance sports car. You don't just go to a group of engineers and say, here, you build us an engine that gives us 1,000 horsepower, and then you go over to these guys and say, build us a chassis, but don't talk to the engine guys. They have to work together. Automotive was really the driving force between multi-profile, multi-device Bluetooth activity. Here we're looking at some of the use cases. We've got rear seat entertainment. The kids want to play a video game. Bluetooth, great enabler for smart key fobs. And again, your fitness, your wellness sensors, your car can sense your heart rate. We've always done telephony profiles. Interesting fact. We've never done an automotive profile. Now we have some interest in it. The car becomes a data center. All of these groups need to be coordinated. That's going to be the goal of the bet.
So normally we refer to this as the CEPC bet, or just simply CEPC. There's probably about 15 or 16 companies now participating in the bet. The Bluetooth chip providers are very well represented in the group. And also we've got a growing number of integrators of Bluetooth users. So Sony is one of the names that hasn't made it onto the slide. We've got Motorola, Apple, and Logitech. So as I said, CPC is a hugely diverse market. It's addressing a lot of different verticals. There's a lot of different product types that fall within the definition of this market. So to try and make sense of it, we split it into 3 different segments. So there's the living room, the personal computers, so encompassing both home and professional PCs, and finally the portable consumer electronics segment. Adding to the complexity is the overlap with all of the other bets as well. The very fact that these other bets exist, the fact that Bluetooth is relevant in each one of these spaces and to varying degrees is starting to be introduced in each one of these spaces, helps to drive Bluetooth in the CPC. And of course, that's a network effect that works in the other direction as well.
So the health and fitness bet was formed, as the other ones were, about, in January time frame. We have a decent mix of promoter and associate companies. You see all the companies over here. Chip makers, software providers, mobile phone, and device manufacturers, which are the key to these bets. It seems that, there's more of an emphasis on this connected and healthy lifestyle. The very first thing they say is, yeah, we've already got, wireless connectivity. We're using ANT, we're using proprietary. But what I don't have today is the way to connect to that mobile phone. That is just the key driver, and that's why this standards-based solution is really important. Now for the medical and wellness side of the solution, these numbers are huge, almost 10 times the amount that we saw in the sports and fitness. So what are we doing in the bet? Recognizing there's these 2 types of market with sports and fitness and medical and wellness with different requirements, different time to market considerations. Sports and fitness, they want to go now. So they want to make a product, they want to get it to market before Christmas, and they want to get that on the shelves. Medical and wellness, on the other hand, they're a little more slow moving. They're a little more methodical. They've got FDA clearance requirements. They have a time frame that is way different than the sports and fitness. So what are our next steps to do within the bet? One, we need to finalize these MRDs. And then once we get all that taken care of, let's start working on the next set of profiles, the next use cases we need to take advantage of.
When you look at the smart home, the thing that really comes out is that to get into the HVAC system, you've got to engage with every single part of the value chain. You've got to engage with the manufacturers, the installations, the service providers, the end users. You've got to really sell an awful lot. So in terms of prioritization and next steps, the big technology enabler that we are missing today is the Internet Gateway. So I think we need to rename this to the Internet of Everything. So because we've already completed one full MRD, the Smart Energy MRD, we've effectively thrown that away now. So what we're now doing is using as much information from that to put into a smart home MRD and then work on sub-segment requirements. I would like to hand back to Suk. Thank you.
But I hope this morning, from Mike's presentation right through Robin's, you've got a sense of really our shift as an organization to a market-driven organization. And we need to break through and commercialize, help our members commercialize in these areas. We're seeding a second wave, and so this is how we're going to do it. And it really is through this BETS, the Bluetooth ecosystem teams, is a great start. And our job from a BET perspective is to continue to evolve Bluetooth's role in our established beachheads and break through in these targeted new verticals. So if you have any questions on the bets, on the burbs, you want to chair a bet, you want to spin up a new one, you want to join one, absolutely please feel free to contact me. My contact information is there. And of course, reach out to the individual bet chairs themselves, and their contact information is identified here on this slide as well. So thank you very much, and let's eat.